Rain on the windshield now, soft lines moving up and down. City lights begin to bend through the water on the glass. Wipers tracing back and forth, clearing just enough to see. Every drop becomes a trail, sliding where the night feels still. Headlights blurring amber waves, breaking into scattered shapes. Nothing holds a steady form, everything just drifts away. Engine low and quieter now, rain absorbs the usual sound. Even thoughts begin to slow with the rhythm of the storm. Fingers resting on the wheel, feeling something hard to name. Not quite lost and not yet found, just suspended in this frame. Traffic fading into mist, tail lights melting into red. Small reflections gathering where the dashboard softly glows. Cold air settles near the glass, breath appears and disappears. For a moment all the world fits inside this moving sphere. Water running side to side, drawing patterns without end. Every line erased again before it can settle in. Radio beneath the rain, barely louder than a hum. Something distant in the chords, matching how the night is turned. Road signs passing through the blur, names I never stopped to read. Only motion, only light, only miles I let unfold. Raindrops racing toward the edge, each one choosing where to fall. Brief and silent as they move, gone before I notice more. Hands relaxed, the speed unchanged, letting weather set the pace. Nothing urgent waits ahead, nothing calling me behind. Through the veil upon the glass, all the city softens down. Every outline gently fades into shades of muted gold. Rain on the windshield stays long enough to slow the night, long enough to make this road feel like somewhere I can keep.
When the air through the window, cold enough to clear my mind, slipping softly through the silence, mixing with the engine hum. Winter air through the window, touching everything it finds. Quiet moving through the night, while the road keeps drifting on.
Window cracked against the cold, breath turns briefly into mist. Cool air settles on my hands, resting lightly on the wheel. City lights feel farther now, sharper through the frozen air. Every color, every line, clearer than they were before.
Heater warmth against my feet, meeting winter in between. Small contrast inside the car, holding both at once tonight. Bare trees passing in the dark,
branches reaching through the glow, drawing patterns overhead, gone before they fully form.
Streets are thinner, quieter now,
less movement at every turn, only signals changing slow.
For the few still passing through.
Radio was barely there, something low beneath the hush, but the code that says enough without needing any words.
Glass reflects my quiet shape,
layered over distant lights.
Inside, outside, breath and blur, mixing softly as I drive. Every mile feels more awake underneath the midnight sky. When the air through the window, keeping all my thoughts in line.
Hands adjust the opening,
just enough to let it stay.
One small stream of cold at night, moving gently through the car.
Nothing else I need to change, nothing more I need to find. Just this road in winter air. Drifting with me toward the dawn.
Drive way before dawn. Parked beneath the quiet trees, headlights resting on the wall, shadows stretching on the ground, steady in the cool and dark. Engine humming low and warm, filling up the empty car. All the roads I traveled through, settling slowly in the sound.
Dashboard fading into dim, small lights blinking one by one. Counting down without a word to the silence coming next.
Hands still resting on the wheel, not from needing to stay still, just to hold a little longer what the night is gently made.
Window cracked against the cold, morning barely in the air. Somewhere birds begin to stir, far beyond the sleeping street. Rearview holds a final glow.
City lights now far away,
All that motion, all that sound,
quietly becoming memory. Nothing waiting but the door, nothing urgent left to do. Still I sit inside this pause, letting it belong to me. Finger moves toward the key, but not yet, not quite enough.
one last breath inside the dark.
Before the engine fades to still. Driveway before dawn, engine running, lights still on.
Not quite ready for the end
of the night I've been within. Driveway before dawn, sky beginning to turn soft.
One more minute in the calm
before everything moves on. Before everything moves on. Before everything moves. Driveway before dawn, and engine running, lights still on.
Not quite ready for the end
Of the night I've been within. Driveway before dawn, sky beginning to turn soft.
One more minute in the calm
Before everything moves on.
Yeah,
Time.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun,
yeah,
dun.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Tunnel walls and shifting light, flashing patterns left and right. Silver echoes on the glass, counting every second past. Engine low, the sound runs deep, steady pulse beneath the sea. Headlights folding into streams, breaking through a narrow beam. City noises left behind, only motion fills the mind. Air is cool and breathing slow, moving where the shadows flow. Every line begins to blur, quiet hum, a softened stir. Nothing here but speed and glow. In the lane I follow through, tunnel glow, motion slow. Light keeps falling in a row, through the dark, through the haze, drifting in a silver wave. Tunnel glow, moving on, rhythm where the night belongs. Hold the line, feel it flow, inside the tunnel glow.
Reflections dance across the frame, never twice the very same. White and amber fade and rise, passing softly through my eyes. Concrete arches overhead, carrying the thoughts unsaid. Every sound becomes more near, every silence more sincere.
Time bends under muted light, stretching out the edge of night. Only this suspended space and the calm I cannot chase. Forward with no need to rush, engine speaking in a hush, letting every shadow move through the rhythm of the route. Yeah. Tunnel glow, motion slow, light keeps falling in a row. Through the dark, through the haze, drifting in a silver wave. Tunnel glow, moving on, rhythm where the night belongs. Hold the line, feel it flow inside the tunnel glow.
Distant blue opening begins to show, but I stay inside the frame just a little longer now. Patterns fading one by one, like the closing of a song. Still the pulses carry through,
Even as the light breaks new.
hands that ease the road align,
Quiet,
settling in the mind.
moving through and moving past, wanting this brief moment back. I'll be on the tunnels and night continues without end, but the glow remains somehow still reflected with me now. Tunnel glow, motion slow, light keeps falling in a row. Through the dark, go through the haze, drifting in a silver wave. Tunnel glow, moving on, rhythm where the night belongs. Hold the line, feel it flow inside the tunnel glow.
Highway lines beneath the glow, steady where the night will go. Windows crack the cool air through, every mile reveals a view. Silver lanes and faded signs, moving through the quiet time. Headlights stretching far ahead, tracing words I never said. Radio and softened haze, blending with the engine's wave. Hands are loose around the wheel, letting every moment feel. City fading in the rear, only open distance here. Dark horizon pulling slow, further than I need to know. Highway lights passing by, falling softly through the night. One by one they fade from sight, still they stay behind my eyes. Highway lights passing on, guiding where the road is gone. No need asking where or why, just the road and endless sky. Overpasses drift above, silent shapes I'm thinking of. Yellow markers cut the dark, steady like a quiet spark. Mirrors catch the scatter beams, breaking into moving streams. Nothing fixed and nothing stays, only miles and shifting frames. Distant trucks and tail light trails, brief is half remembered tales. Every shadow comes and goes, like I thought nobody knows. Speed unchanged, the rhythm stays, carried by the muted bass. Breathing with the open eye, held between the dark and light. Highway lights passing by, falling softly through the night. One by one they fade from sight, still they stay behind my eyes. Highway lights passing on, guiding where the road is gone. No need asking where or why, just the road and endless sky. Midnight settle deep and clear, only distant sounds I hear. Engine low and steady now, all the silence feels loud. Road signs flicker in the blue, pointing somewhere far from view. But I let the lane decide where this quiet wants to ride. Every mile unwinds the day, pulling all the noise away. Nothing left to hold too tight, only motion, only night. Further where the darkness bends, knowing this is not an end, just another road to trace through Highway lights passing by, falling softly through the night. One by one they fade from sight, still they stay behind my eyes. Highway lights passing on, guiding where the road
is. Empty street in motion now, rolling through the sleeping blocks. Green lights waiting up ahead, unchanged in the quiet dark. Fresh warmth rising from the cup, resting in the holder still. Engine settling in the pace, soft and steady once again. Storefront glass reflects the lane, mirror in the passing beams. Closed signs hanging in the glow, holding on to yesterday. Every window dark and still, curtains drawn, the city rest. Only traffic signals blink, keeping time for no one else. Tires whisper on the road, yeah. Barely louder than my breath, yeah. All the noise the day once held, gone beneath this open calm, crossing through familiar turns. Roads remembered by the hands, no directions left to read, only motion leading on. Street lamps cast the amber pools, one by one they slide away, briefly lighting up the hood, then dissolving back to black. Rear view holds an empty line, no headlights behind the night. For a while it almost feels like the city's mine alone. Dashboard glowing faint and blue, small reflections on the glass. Everything reduced to light, shadow, distance, quiet air. Corners opening straight, long and silent avenues. Buildings standing on both sides, watching without saying much. Somewhere far a siren fades, thinner than the cooling air, barely touching where I am before disappearing fully. Empty street in motion now, nothing asking where to go, just the comfort of the road and the calm of moving through. Every mile unwinds the night, slowly, softly, without sound, while the sleeping city keeps breathing somewhere all around. Soft engine humming low, through the silence, through the dark, holding every passing thought until it slowly disappears. Soft engine humming on, steady like a quiet pulse. Nothing else I need to hear while the road keeps moving on, yeah. Dashboard painted in dim gold, small lights glowing in the road, hands at ease upon the wheel, letting all the miles unwind. City sounds are faded out, only fragments drifting near. Distant tires are passing light, gone before they settled in. Window open, just enough cool air moving through the car, carrying the final weight of a night now folding down. Street lights standing one by one, farthing out between each glow. Shadows gathering beside every place the beams don't. Soft engine humming low, through the silence, through the dark, holding every passing thought until it slowly disappears. Soft engine humming on, steady like a quiet pulse. Nothing else I need to hear while the road keeps moving on. Radio is long gone still, leaving only muted tones. Engine speaking in this way, without asking for a name. Rear view filled with scattered lights, fading softly into black. Everything already feels like it happened long ago. Speed unchanged, the breathing slow, nothing urgent left ahead, just the calm that settles in.
When the night begins to end, closer now to somewhere known, roads that need no second thought, turns remembered by the hands long before the signs of pigeon humming low through the silence, through the dark, holding every passing thought until it slowly disappears. Soft engine humming on, steady like a quiet pulse. Nothing else I need to hear while the road keeps moving on.
Yeah. Engine low, under the lights, glass reflects the passing signs. Tires hum through open lanes, cooler moving through the frame. City bends around the wheels, quiet poster dashboard keeps red and blue across the hood. Everything feels understood, lake glow running down the blocks. Green lights changing as we cross, radio just fills the space. Soft enough to match the pace, left and through familiar roads. Windows down, the silence flows, buildings burn silver lines. Steady hands on hurried mind. City drive begins tonight, neon slipping through my eyes. Slow and easy, ride the line, let the midnight set the time. City drive begins again, rolling where the bright lights bend. No destination, just a sign while the whole night moves around. Street lamps falling one by one, night has only just begun. Empty seats and open sky, small reflections in my eyes. Corners fold and disappear, all the distant sounds draw near. Signals flicker on the glass, watching every moment pass. Slow breath with the engine tone, moving but not rushing home. Lanes extend and pull ahead, quiet thoughts and set on red. Storefront signs and muted gold, stories flashing bought and sold. Faces drift and disappear, only fragments staying near. City drive begins tonight, neon slipping through my eyes. Slow and easy, ride the line, let the midnight set the time. City drive begins again, rolling where the bright lights bend. No destination, just a sound while the whole night moves around. Window crack, city breeze, quiet words between the streets. Every signal, every sound settles softly all around. Yellow lines like threads ahead, pulling through the thoughts unsaid, letting every mile decide what to carry, what to hide. Engine warmth is softened bass, gentle pulse beneath the haze. Distant towers fading bright, watching over passing nights. Hands relax around the wheel, nothing urgent left to feel. Driving into something new without asking where it leads. City drive begins tonight, neon slipping through my eyes. Slow and easy, ride the line, let the midnight set the time. City drive begins again, rolling where the bright lights bend. No destination, just a sound while the whole night moves around. While the whole night moves around. Skyline under the moon, silver resting on the glass. Building standing quiet now, holding up the fading night. Engine cooling in the dark, soft click settling in the air. Windows crack, they let the breeze carry through the empty pause. River light and distant roads, moving far below my view. Everything still carries on, even while I stay right here. Moonlight on the tower sides, drawing edges into blue. Every window softly burns, like a thought that stays awake. Hands are still upon my lap, no more need to hold the wheel. After all the miles tonight, silence feels enough to keep clouds drift slow
soon to be named. Street lights thread across the dark, thin and golden, far below. Small reminders of the roads that were carrying me here. Glass reflects the city twice, once outside and once with me. Lights above and lights within, blurring where the two begin. Cool air settles on my skin, pulling deeper breaths from me. All the noise I carried in, loosened somewhere with the wind. Just the sirens fade away, barely more than passing waves. Even sound becomes more soft underneath this open view. Every tower holds a line, every shadow leaves a shade. Nothing moves and still it feels like the whole night's breathing slow. Moon suspended overall, quiet over steel and stone. For a moment everything seems exactly where it fits. Time becomes a slower thing, measured only by the lights, and the way the dark between makes them brighter than before. Skyline, under the moon, staying still before I go. One more look before the road pulls me back into its flow. Headlights reflecting snow, scattered across the silent road. Right beneath the moving beam, shining where the tires pass. Fresh snow resting on the lanes, untouched at the edge of light. Every turn reveals again how the dark can carry glow. When a quiet settles deep, even engine sounds grow soft. All the usual city noise buried somewhere under white street signs wearing silver dust. Corners softened by the cold. Everything more still tonight, everything reduced to light. Flakes still drifting here and there, crossing slowly through the beams. Briefly bright then disappearing into darkness just ahead. Hands are warmer than the glass, heater humming at my feet, while the windshield holds the view clear against the frozen air. Trees along the roadside stand outlined faintly in the glow. Branches catching scattered light like thin lines of quiet fire. Tracks ahead are lightly drawn, leading somewhere out of sight. Just enough to follow through without needing more than this. Dashboard glowing soft and blue, mirroring against the snow. Inside warmth and outside cold, meeting somewhere in between. Every mile feels slowed down now. Not from caution, more from awe, as if winter asked the road to move gently through the night. Headlights reflecting snow, painted silver into black. For a moment all the world feels untouched and newly made. Nothing waiting at the end, nothing urgent to arrive. Just this road, this winter light, and the calm of moving. Neon on the crosswalk lines, spilling colors through the rain. White stripes glowing on the ground, like a rhythm softly drawn. Red light holding everything. Pause beneath the city haze. Engines waiting side by side, breathing low beneath the glow. Figures passing through the frame, umbrellas and hurry steps, faces hidden, voices blurred, gone before they settle in. Water gathers near the curb, catching signs in broken waves. Pink and blue and amber light, moving where the footsteps fade. Wipers resting for a while. Rain is thin, scattered drops, just enough to blur the glass, just enough to bend the scene. Storefront windows burning warm, casting gold into the streets. More reflections sliding past, under every moving shoe. Crosswalk signal starts to flash. Counting down in silent time. Every number disappears before I can follow through. Music low inside the car, soft against the city sound, bass beneath the traffic hum. Steady like another post, hands are loose upon the wheel, waiting for the light to change. But the moment that's for less, only to be held a while. Neon writing on the walls, letters stretching through the mist. Somewhere in the color blur, meaning doesn't matter now. Another crowd begins to move, crossing through the silver lines, briefly filling up the road, then dissolving in the night. Green arrives and traffic shifts, everything begins again. But the crosswalk leaves its glow, lingering behind my eyes. Neon crosswalk fading slow in the mirror as I move, carrying that painted light further down the quiet streets. Breeze light stretching in the lines, guiding through the open night, stealing shadow overhead, rhythm moving just ahead. Tires hum across the span, steady under quiet hands. River dark on either side, holding fragments of the light. Cold air drifting through the crack, pulling all the silence back. The city glowing far behind, still reflected in my mind. Beams above and measure rows, passing like familiar notes. Every pattern, every frame, gone before it forms a name. Water carries broken gold, shifting where the current flows. Nothing fixed beneath the bridge, only movement underneath, engine breezing soft in tones, filling up the empty road. Sound and motion blending slow, into something almost still. Lanes are open, running wide. No one close on either side. Just the structure in the sky, and the distance rolling by. Cables rising in the dark, drawing lines like quiet marks, fading up without a sight, holding up the edge of night. Review catches scattered sparks, lights dissolving in the stars. Every mile pulls the city further back and out of reach. Wind against the window frame, cooling past and never strain. Moving through and moving on, letting all the noise be gone. Sides ahead and muted green, briefly bright but slipping free. Nothing asking where to turn. Just a bridge and what it holds, middle of the crossing now. River deeper far below, all the silence somehow feels larger than the road itself. Steady post beneath my seat, matching with the distant beams up. Everything aligned enough to forget what came before. Bridge run through the late night air, open sky and empty span. For a while this lifted road feels like nowhere and like home. Signal on a quiet turn, leaving wider roads behind. Narrow streets begin to fold into shadows lined with light. Side lane pulling softly in, different from the open flow. Smaller signs and older walls, closer than the night before. Tires slow against the curb, echo shifting with the pace. Every sound becomes more near in this tightest stretch of road. Windows glowing here and there, half-lit rooms behind the glass. Small reminders people stay. Awaken corners of the night. Street trees moving in the wind, casting shapes across the hood. Branches drawing restless lines over silver painted beams. Brick and concrete passing close. Textures caught in fleeting light. Details easy to miss on the roads I usually take. Somewhere music softly spills through a doorway left ajar. Just a moment, then it fades. Back into the quiet air. Steps appear along the walk. Someone turning out of view. Gone before I cross the block. Leaving only moving shadows. Side lane stretching without signs. No clear reason to be here. Only curiosity guiding where the wheel will go. Every corner hides another narrow path to wander through. Nothing urgent waits ahead, so I let the turn decide. City feels more human here. Less like distance, more like breath. Close enough to hear it shift underneath the sleeping calm. Side lane detour through the dark, off the route I thought I knew. Finding something in the quiet. Main roads never let me see. Parking lot beneath white lights, empty roads and quiet lines. Engine phasing to the cold as the door swings slowly shut. Automatic doors slide wide, warm air meets the midnight breeze. Fluorescent in soft machine hum, settling over everything. Shopping baskets stacked in rows, wheels that turn with subtle noise. Slow footsteps across the tile, echoing in open space. Half-filled shelves and muted signs, colors brighter in the calm. Fruit arranged beneath the light, still untouched at this late hour. Refrigerators softly glow, glass doors lined with silver mist. Cold air slipping through the cracks, touching briefly at my hands. Someone moving down aisle 3, cartwheels turning out of sight. Small and distant, nearly gone before the sound can settle in. Coffee stacked beside the bread, labels facing perfectly. Every ordinary thing feels more still than in the day. Checkout screens in quiet blue, numbers blinking into place. Soft beeps cutting through the air, then dissolving just as fast. Outside waiting in the dark, my car earned the parking lights. Windows holding traces still of the roads I traveled through. Back set gently in the seat, door shuts with a hollow tone. Engine waking once again, low and familiar beneath me. For a moment sitting still, hands around the paper cup, letting warmth return before the next quiet stretch of road. Midnight grocery run complete. Nothing urgent, nothing grand, just a pause inside the night before the drive begins again. So slow lane, calm heart, letting all the night unfold. Nothing rushing where we are. Just the road and quiet go. So slow lane, calm heart. We're steady with the engine tone. Yeah. Moving softly through the dark. Feeling more and more like home. Yeah. Speed drops into something light, easier against the road. Far right lane and open space, giving every thought more room. Dashboard casting muted glow, hands relaxed upon the wheel. Breathing slower with the miles as the city drifts beside. Traffic passes now and then, brief and distant in the dark, but I stay where motion feels. Gentle enough just to be street lights falling one by one, softly over hood and glass. Small reflections moving past without asking to be kept. Slow lane, calm heart. Letting all the night unfold. Nothing rushing where we are. Just the road and quiet go. Slow lane, calm heart. Steady with the engine tone. Moving softly through the dark. Feeling more and more like home. When the air beyond the glass, clear and still beneath the stars. Inside warmth and outside cold, balance perfectly tonight. No more need to chase the lane, no more need to think ahead. Only following the road as it gently carries on. Rearview filled with fading light. Everything already gone. All the noise I held before, settling somewhere out of reach. Closer now to something known. Not a place but more a state, where the driving and the night start to feel the same inside. Slow lane, calm heart.